Welcome to People Want to Know, a segment where we take your social media questions and we answer them. And usually we have an expert. And this week we're going to be talking to those people that are currently applying for jobs and need the do's and don'ts and tips for interviews. That's why this week I have an expert with over 15 years of experience in human resources, in recruiting and staffing, Monica Santa Cruz. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, JP. Really appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad that I'm part of the opportunity to answer questions that people want to know.
Thank you. Let's get right into the interview. Let's get into, I'm about to go in for a job interview. What's going to make the best first and last impression with the potential employer, and how do I stand out?
Well, there's so many different things that you can do to stand out. One of them is people underestimate who you come into as you're parking into the parking lot. So the interview starts right there. That's when you start setting that impression with the employer. From the time that you park up until the time you go up and greet the receptionist with a smile, and up until the time that you leave the interview.
How do you recommend that you dress?
People sometimes misinterpret, should I wear this attire because I'm going to this type of interview? Even if you're going to a job in manufacturing, warehousing, it doesn't matter where it is. Again, your goal is to set that first impression with the employer. So your attire, your impression is very important.
Maybe a deal breaker that I always think about is when employers ask you that weird question when they say, please share with us your weaknesses. What do you say to those? What do you say to that specific question?
There are weaknesses that you can identify that you've noticed maybe you could learn more of on the job. For example, you can say, well, I've got experience with Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, but I do have a little bit of a weakness in Excel. There's so many different things that you can do there, and I do feel that I could step it up a notch and learn a little bit more. So if anything, that's where my weakness lies, and I want to be able to master that.
Right, it's turning a negative into a positive.
That's
absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
What about, for me, it's really easy for me, like checklists. When I see a checklist, I know point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. Do you have a checklist for potential job applicants for job interviews?
Yes, JP. Actually, a checklist is important. One of the things you want to make a note of is bring 2 copies of your resume. Other thing is company research. You want to know where you're interviewing and also the position. So there'll be a point where they may ask you, why are you interested in working for us? So you've already done your company research and you can give them a good explanation as to why you're interested in working in their company. Another 2 items on the list would be asking some genuine questions. So after you've done your research, you may have some questions on either the position or the employer. And so if you ask these genuine questions, the employer can tell that you're genuinely interested in the position.
So when you're in that interview, it's absolutely important when they say, so do you have any questions for me, to actually respond, right?
Absolutely. Have some genuine questions put together. And the last thing on the list that you want to have is, as they're asking you questions about your own experience, you want to be able to answer with examples of the things that you've done, maybe different scenarios, certain things that you've done to prove to them that you actually do have that experience and you're not just making mumbo jumbo up.
Muchas gracias, Monica. Thank you so much for being here and sharing absolutely phenomenal tips.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure. And by the way, I love your beautiful set. Gracias por tenerme aquí, JP.
Thank you. And before we go, we have to give a shout out to OMG. It's Eddie G. Make sure to check out his channel right here. He's the one that introduced Monica to our team, so she can come here and give you guys all tips. Thank you guys for watching Jessica Dominguez TV. Make sure to subscribe. And if you guys have recommendations about what to do and not to do in a job interview, make sure to comment in the comment section below. I'm talking about employers and potential employees. Come on, let's have a conversation and let's share our happenings with everyone. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Wait, don't go anywhere.
Please subscribe to the left
and watch our videos below.